Hello everyone, my name is Dead Cat, and welcome to my Isaac PowerPoint inspired by Flare Balatro. First up here we have our good friend Isaac. Isaac will start with the D6. If you take Blue Baby to Isaac and defeat him, the D6 is a very powerful tool as it allows you to reroll the item room, and more specifically than that, can help you control your item pool. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is, let's say you're hunting for brimstone or sacred heart, and you're like, I'm not really getting it, dude. I don't see it. So you reroll, you take whatever item. Every time you reroll, you have seen more items, which means that those items will no longer spawn in the angel room or the devil room. So that is what I mean by controlling your pool. Isaac's stats are very base. They're nothing too crazy, nothing special, but the D6 is inherently what makes Isaac so strong, along with a bomb. Isaac also has some crazy unlocks, such as the best item in the game, Mom's Knife, which you get for going to Satan and defeating him with Isaac. The missing poster, which will lead to unlocking the Lost, and we'll get there when we get there, starts by taking Isaac to the Lamb. D-Infinity, where you have to defeat Delirium with Isaac, and Options ? Which you'll have to defeat the Beast as Isaac. D-Infinity strong. D-Infinity allows you to use it's D4 through D100, which you can just click through. Everyone kind of uses it for D6 and D8, which is understandable. Options ? Will allow the two pickups to spawn, and the choice between the two with the one you did not pick disappearing. These items are pretty good, so Isaac has a mixed pool of unlocks. None of them are all that bad. Alright, Miss Maggie. Maggie will start with the Yum Heart. She will also start with a full health pill after completing Challenge 32, April's Fools, where nothing makes sense. Maggie's great at abusing sacrifice rooms or temperance machines, as she starts with the Yum Heart, which is a 4-room charge that will heal 1 red heart container. It's very good. She's also the most healthy character, as she starts with 4 red hearts. She's also slow as sin. She is the slowest character in the game. That's not a bad Eden roll, and we'll get there when we get there. That's her real only downside. Some notable Maggie unlocks include the Glyph of Balance, defeat Ultra Greedier as Maggie, Purity, defeat Hush, Eucharist, defeat Delirium. And how to unlock Maggie is you have to have 7 or more red heart containers at one time. That's actually not too hard. That's something that you will come across in, I want to say, your first 10 runs. That's something you can definitely make happen. Maggie's a solid character. Her only real downside, again, is that she's a little slow. The Let's Go Gambling character, Cain. Cain starts off with the Lucky Foot, which is similar to PhD. Makes pills good. I use pills exclusively on Cain. Cain also starts with the Paperclip as soon as you donate 68 coins to the Greed Machine, and Paperclip allows you to open up golden chests. Cain's a pretty solid character. Cain has higher than average damage with a 1.2 damage multiplier, because Cain cannot shoot out of his left eye, and that renders these 2 items to be useless. The only 2 items you really have to worry about not working with Cain are going to be Blood Clot and Chemical Peel, and that's 2 out of almost 700 items, or over 700 items now. So literally nothing to worry about at all. Cain also has less than average range, and he has higher than average speed. Overall, pretty good. Cain's a very solid character overall. Him starting off with Lucky Foot also makes luck builds very usable, which is great. How to unlock Cain is pretty simple. It's just to hold 55 coins at one time. And some notable Cain unlocks being Cain's Other Eye, complete the boss rush, and Guppy's Eye, defeat Mother as Cain. So no real great unlocks beside those. You could also say Evil Eye, but those are the 2 that I would like to highlight. Judas starts with 1 red heart container, higher than average damage with a ×2 multiplier, slightly higher speed, and other than that, everything else is the same. Judas is an insanely good glass cannon type character. Judas will also start with 3 coins, not that that's very important, and the Book of Belial. Book of Belial is a 3-room charge active item that will give you +2 damage for the current room, and it gives you an increased 12.5% chance to find your deal. That's actually crazy. Judas is a very solid character, very good. Do not let this man fool you. He is a glass cannon. He is a monster. He will destroy everything he touches. Do not let him fool you. Beginners might struggle because dodging is going to be extremely important until you can find another source of health. You're only running off of the 1 red heart container. That's really the only downside to Judas. Judas is also unlocked by just defeating Satan, which you can get within your first Isaac run. Or I lied, actually. Early on in your first 10 runs, you can make this happen pretty easily. Notable Judas unlocks are going to be Judas's Shadow, complete the boss rush, Curved Horn, which is a trinket that's a +1 damage up, defeat the Lamb, Eye of Belial, which is piercing, defeat Ultra Greedier as Judas, and that's really it. But Judas is an incredible character. Oh man, Blue Baby, talk about a underwhelming character. Blue Baby starts with a ×1.05 multiplier, so a barely negligible damage up. Starts with +0.1 speed over Isaac. The thing about Blue Baby that makes him a skill issue character is that Blue Baby cannot have red heart containers, period. Can only pick up soul hearts. Soul hearts are a rare drop in the game. So dodging is going to become increasingly more important as you play this character. He also starts with the poop as his active item. It's a 1-room charge. When you break the poop, a fly will spawn. If you get petrified poop, then that's incredible. It gives you an increased chance for a soul heart to drop. There's also other trinkets that can kind of help to mitigate Blue Baby's meh-ness. He's still just gonna be okay at most. The only reason that Blue Baby is very important is because by defeating Isaac with him, that is what allows Isaac to start with a D6. That's one of his only good unlocks. The other two being Fate, which you get from defeating Blue Baby with Blue Baby, and the Eternal D6, which you get from defeating Mother as Blue Baby. How you unlock this mediocre character is you just defeat Mom's heart 10 times. Not It Lives, Mom's heart. So this can be and will be accomplished hopefully within your first 10 runs of Isaac. That's really the most I have to say about Blue Baby. This character is just super underwhelming and just not it. Not terribly hard, but just you will not have fun playing this character, I promise. Eve. Eve is a very fun character in this game. We love Eve. Eve's cool. So Eve starts with 1.23 speed. This is 0.23 higher than Isaac, and her base stats are damage-wise less than Isaac. Eve's base form isn't all that great. The one thing that makes Eve great is Whore of Babylon. Whore of Babylon will activate with Eve, unlike other characters, when she has 1 full red heart remaining, which is good. And then upon donating 439 coins to the greed machine, she will also start with the razor blade, which is a very easy way to maintain the Whore of Babylon state. Also dead birds there, I guess, like whatever. Eve is a fun, fast, strong character in this game, with some notable unlocks. But before I get to them, how you unlock Eve is you just don't pick up any hearts for 2 floors in a row. This can be done within your first run of Isaac if you really want to. Eve is great. I highly recommend unlocking her. Her notable unlocks are as followed. Eve's Mascara, complete boss rush, that's a damage up and a tears down item. Darkness Falls is a challenge that will unlock Dark Matter, which is another damage up with a chance for fear, and that comes from defeating Satan and Blue Baby as Eve. That's how you unlock the challenge to complete it to get Dark Matter. And her last really good unlock is Athame, which will come from defeating Hush. There's also Birdcage, which comes from defeating Mother. Eve's a very fun and strong character in this game. I think you'll really like her. Shout out to my boy Matt that I served with, who named his son after this here gentleman, Samson. Not just because he likes Isaac, but also because the biblical Samson. Samson is incredible. He starts with a little less range than Isaac, 0.1 speed higher shot speed, which is negligible, and minus 0.05 tears. This is all averaged out because Samson starts with Bloody Lust. Bloody Lust, how this item works is that you gain 4 damage boosts at +2 intervals for a total of +14. That's like the max, right? You can get max 14 damage with other increases, but it's basically a plus times 0.2 for your damage every time you get hit up to 4 times, which is incredible. If you feel like doing it, the hardest challenge in the game, Ultra Hard, by beating it, you will unlock Samson starting with the Child's Heart. Good luck, everybody. Samson is a solid character. He's very forgiving, very new player friendly. Highly recommend him for new players because you can learn other things about the game, like patterns, dodging items, while you play easy characters like Samson, Azazel, Eve. We'll get to Azazel in a minute, don't worry. Samson also has some incredible unlocks, but before we get to those, Samson is unlocked by completing 2 floors in a row without taking damage. Just play Azazel, bro. Literally, how you want to do? You want to do this? Just play Azazel. Samson's notable unlocks are going to be Bloody Lust, which comes from defeating Isaac, Lusty Blood, which comes from defeating Ultra Greed, Bloody Gust, which comes from defeating Mother, and that's really it. But Samson is great for new players. Highly, highly recommend him. He's also just fun if you're intermediate or advanced. Samson's fun. Next up, we have the most broken, non-tainted character in the game, and no, I'm not joking. We have Azazel. I did not put the stats up because, honest to God, it doesn't matter. Azazel starts with Flight and Miniature Brimstone. Mini Brimstone starting is so strong because Brimstone is a piercing item, as opposed to when 2 enemies are lined up in front of Isaac. He shoots tears, only the first enemy gets hit. Azazel hits both of them. This is incredible. Same with Flight. Flight is a great plus. You can see some of my explanation on screen for why Flight is so good. Specifically, when I say avoiding damage, what I'm talking about is avoiding creep and avoiding spikes. Those are 2 things you do not have to worry about for the remainder of the run. Azazel is also very fast and has a lot of damage. The only downside is, like, I guess you could say there's not a lot of range, but, like, dude, who cares at this point? Azazel is pretty easy to unlock. Just make 3 deals with the devil in 1 run. You will eventually do this. This can also be accomplished pretty early on. Azazel also has some crazy unlocks. Satanic Bible comes from defeating Isaac. Abaddon, which is a damage up, comes from defeating Blue Baby. Maw of the Void comes from defeating Hush. And unlocking Lilith. Lilith comes from defeating just Ultra Greed, base Ultra Greed with Azazel. There's not much more I can say about this character. He's insane. If there's anything that's a challenge you have to do where you can play Azazel, dude, just play Azazel and he will make your life so easy. Next up, we have the affectionately nicknamed Lazarus. Lazarus starts with minus 1.5 range and minus 1 luck, which isn't too great. Other than that, same exact stats as Isaac. Lazarus's risen form gets 0 luck plus 2.5 speed, goes back to base range, and gets a plus 1.4 times damage multiplier. Pretty good. With Lazarus, it's really important to maximize the effects of Risen Lazarus, where you get to have that permanent 0.5 damage up per floor that you beat with Risen Lazarus, i.e. kill yourself with Lazarus. You can also start with Anemic if you want to do the back asswards challenge. That's the one where you go from Mega Satan all the way backwards to Basement 1. Lazarus will also start with 1 random pill per run. Pretty unremarkable, all things aside. Minus the new way that Risen Lazarus works. But I think that health management is going to be very important. I don't know the stats on it. I was trying to research it. I couldn't find anything. Be careful when abusing Risen Lazarus because you will keep losing health. You will lose permanent red heart containers. Or I shouldn't say permanent because they're not broken hearts, but you will lose red heart containers the more you do it. How to unlock Lazarus is pretty simple. Just have 4 or more soul hearts at the same time. Lazarus also, unfortunately, has some of the worst unlocks in the game, with really only 2 being notable. One's being store credit, which is a trinket that allows you to buy 1 free item or anything from the shop by defeating Blue Baby, and the other one being compound fracture, which is like another form of parasite, which you get from defeating Delirium. Other than that, New Lazarus is much better than Old Lazarus, but still isn't great. I'd say that he's okay now, and that's fine. We have Eden now. One of my favorite characters, personally, to play as. Eden's pretty cool. Eden starts with random stats, which you can see the ranges up for on screen. And Eden will start with 1 random active and passive item, along with a random pickup, which can include a random trinket. And, it doesn't say it on screen, but Eden also starts with random amounts of health. I believe the max will always be 3. It can be 3 red hearts, 1 red heart and 2 soul hearts, etc. 3 soul hearts. Something along those lines. Eden is the most 50-50 character in the world because you can have some incredibly busted starts and also have some absolutely terrible, abysmal starts. It can be pretty bad. How to unlock Eden is simple. Just complete Chapter 4, which is to kill Mom's heart. Every time that you will kill Mom's heart, it lives, which is something you will unlock later, which is another form of Mom's heart. Ultra Greed, or the Beast, you'll gain an Eden token. And if you need anytime you need more of them, just go play Azazel and speedrun your way to the heart. That's like the easiest way to do it, to be honest. It is the fastest of all these routes that you can take to get there. Eden has some decent unlocks, I will say. The most notable being Eden's Blessing, defeat Hush, Eden's Soul, defeat Delirium, and Everything Jar, defeat the Beast. Other than that, nothing too notable, especially since Blank Card got nerfed. Eden is the most 50-50 character in the world, so he will occupy the okay spot in my mind. But he's pretty fun. Give him a shot. The Lost is one of the most skill issue characters in the game. He's also one of my favorites. I love the Lost. He's very fun. The Lost starts with exactly the same stats as Isaac. The only difference is you have Flight, which we previously mentioned is pretty busted. And if you want to start with Holy Mantle, you'll have to donate 879 coins to the Greed Machine. Lost also starts off with the Eternal D6, which is a 2-room charge. And it has a 30% chance for each rolled item to disappear. That 30% feels a lot more weighted than that, but, you know, that's what it says. The Lost is a very strong character, especially with guaranteed perfection on caves. That makes luck builds absolutely insane. Makes Guppy's tail insane. For when you go to the dark room of the chest, that's a must-take item if you find it. How you unlock the Lost is pretty simple. We mentioned earlier that you need to unlock the missing poster, and if you miss that, go back to the Isaac section. Once you find the missing poster in a run, you have to just die in a sacrifice room, and now you have the Lost. The Lost also has crazy unlocks, such as the Mind, defeat Satan, the Soul, defeat the Lamb, the Body, defeat Blue Baby, Holy Card, which is a 1 card use of a holy mantle. Once you get hit with it, it goes away. Comes from defeating delirium. Lost soul, which comes from defeating mother. And Godhead, which is earning every single mark in hard mode as the Lost. The Lost is a challenging character. Stick with him. You will learn to love him. You will learn to love his quirks and how he is. I promise. The Lost also makes excellent use of devil deals because you can take one item for free. The other items disappear, so when you do go to make devil deals, please keep that in mind. If you guys have been around this channel for a while, you know I had to make a Borderlands reference out of Lilith. She has the exact same stat spread as Isaac. Really, the only difference is that Lilith cannot shoot her own tears, which is why she has Incubus. And the way Incubus works is that it copies all of Lilith's tear effects. So let's say you pick up Cricket's body, well now Incubus shoots Cricket's body. You pick up Brimstone, now Incubus shoots Brimstone. This item is insanely powerful. Combine that with Box of Friends, which doubles all companions that you have. It can lead to some busted stuff, especially with 4.5 volt, which charges active items upon the damage you do. You can just create an army of incubi and little friends. Lilith also starts with Cambion Conception. This item is okay. The way that this works is that the first and second familiars will spawn after taking damage 15 times, and the third and fourth familiars will each spawn after taking damage 30 or more times. So not the best item in the world, but it is, a bonus. And like we mentioned earlier, to unlock Lilith, all you have to do is defeat Ultra Greed with Azazel. Pretty easy. Lilith also has some crazy unlocks. One of them being one of the best items in the game. Two of them actually being best items in the game. Incubus, defeat Hush. Euthanasia, defeat Delirium. And C-Section, the Goat, defeat the Beast with Lilith. Overall, Lilith isn't too bad. You're going to have to get used to shooting, behind you because of Incubus and how that kind of works. But other than that, this character is really, really good. Next up on the list, we have the Keeper. The Keeper's base stats are interesting to say the least. He starts with triple shot. He has a 1.2 times damage multiplier, has 0.1 less speed than Isaac, sitting at 0.9, -2 tear rate, -2 luck. It kind of balances out. I'm not a fan of triple shot, but if you like triple shot, hey, this is like your character. The Keeper cannot heal from hearts. He can only heal from coins. So that's very important to kind of manage, keep track of, because if you take damage and there's coins on the ground and you want to save money, well, the game prioritizes healing over you saving money. So that's something that you're going to have to play around, is leaving coins on the floor or taking them, kind of a risk reward of like, do I want to save money for an item from the shop or a devil deal, because devil deals cost coins with Keeper. I highly recommend unlocking Wooden Nickel and the store key. You'll see them on screen how to unlock them. The method for unlocking Keeper can be frustrating. It is donate 1,000 coins to the Greed donation machine. The easiest way to do this is to take Azazel, take the Judas, Cain, Isaac, run those guys through Greed until your machine gets to like 15% chance of breaking upon donating. Once you do that, start flopping around to the rest of the cast and just get this done. We'll go over the tainted characters at some point. Tainted Keeper is one of my favorites. Also one of the most powerful characters in the game. So I think that unlocking Keeper is worth it for that. And if you're going for Dead God, then you have to. There's only two real notable Keeper unlocks. One's Deep Pockets, which increases the chance for coins to drop. Nickels and lucky coins as well. And Keeper's Sack, or as Mattman affectionately calls it, Balls. You'll get that from defeating Mother. And what Balls does is that it gives you stat increases when you buy items. So it's pretty good for Keeper, and for Tainted Keeper especially. So I highly recommend unlocking those as soon as humanly possible when you get this character. Other than that, hey man, good luck. Keeper's not that bad, but not that great. Another one of those characters that I think just fits into okay. Alright, next up here, and I'm back from Texas, and I'm a little sick, so please bear with me. We have Apollyon, which is a video that is long in the making, which I am working on, still finishing the spreadsheet for, to determine how good the new Void is versus old Void. Apollyon has the same base stats as Isaac, essentially, except you start with Void. Void is now a 4-room charge, and when you use Void, it has a chance, well, it gives you a guaranteed stat up, a random stat. So take that for what you will. The downside to Apollyon is that you only start with 2 red hearts as opposed to 3, hence the slow start due to poor stats, because that lack of a 3rd red heart really does make a difference, especially when you get to basement 2. One very positive thing I will say about Void, after it's changed to 4-room charges, is that the tech, which allows you to purchase a shop item and then immediately void it, still works, which is excellent. That's gotten me a lot of value out of this character, and I think if you don't know that tech and now you're hearing about it, I think you should definitely try it. It's very helpful. But I will have a better and full video about Apollyon in the future, so for right now I will say that he's okay. I used to be a very staunch Apollyon hater, now I think he's okay, and I'm going to leave it at that. How to unlock Apollyon, by the way, very simple. Just defeat Mega Satan, and that's it. If you don't know how to defeat Mega Satan, click the link in the top right. That's going to take you to my Isaac Guide series, where in this particular episode, I break down how to get to each and every boss route. Oh boy, the Forgore, the Forgotten, the bad to the bone riff guy. As you can see, I do not have any vital information on this screen because it is entirely unnecessary. That character is actually insane, on par with Azazel. There's a lot of text you can do using the spirit for the Forgotten, which makes him freaking crazy. You hit control on your keyboard, you have the spirit form, but you're kind of shackled to the Forgotten's body, so get close to wherever you want to go to and hit control, and you now have flight. You can use this to also get half off cursed rooms, which is incredible. The way that the health split works is that anything involving red hearts, rotten hearts, or bone hearts goes to the base form of the Forgotten. Anything involving soul hearts or black hearts goes to the ghost form. How to unlock the Forgotten is not so complicated as it may sound, but just stick with me while I explain this until I make a proper video on it. Step 1, pick Azazel. Go and defeat the boss in basement 1 in less than a minute. Step 2, go back to the very first starting room that you spawned in, place a bomb. You'll now have the half broken shovel. What this will cause is it'll cause Mom's feet to randomly step around every couple seconds in the room you're in trying to kill you, so keep that in mind. Step 3, go to boss rush. Defeat boss rush. Once you're done, take the negative and descend. Step 4, go to the dark room. You'll have the full, complete shovel. Go to this weird little room where there's like an outcropping with 2 squares, and then just dig there, and that unlocks the Forgotten. It is that simple. In conjunction with that, we also have Brittle Bones, which comes from defeating the Lamb. It gives you bone hearts, and when you break them, you get a Tears Up. Dad's Ring, which comes from Ultra Greedier. It petrifies enemies around you. And Bone Spurs, which comes from Mother. What that does is leave floating bone projectiles to block shots and damage enemies. In conclusion, this character is insane and you should play him. Next up here we have Bethany. Bethany's starting stats are pretty good. She also starts with the Book of Virtues. The way that the Book of Virtues works is that it will spawn a wisp for you every time you use it. When you use it with another active item, because it'll sit over top of Book of Virtues, it'll spawn a special wisp, too many to mention. It's important to note that Bethany cannot use soul or black hearts. They are fuel for the Book of Virtues, so she can only rely on red hearts, bone hearts, and rotten hearts. Those bone hearts and rotten hearts are going to be where you make your money and how you get your devil deal. The other cool thing about Book of Virtues is that your guaranteed devil deal is actually an angel deal. Yippee, woohoo, awesome, actually cool. It also helps that Bethany has some crazy unlocks, such as Blessed Penny, which is just defeat Blue Baby. Book of Virtues itself comes from defeating Isaac. Star of Beth, even though it got nerfed, still really good, comes from defeating Delirium, and Revelation comes from defeating Mother. Revelation being the best item out of the ones listed, actually insane item. The unlock method for Bethany is also pretty simple. Play Lazarus. Do not use his passive, which is him resurrecting. Just play Lazarus without dying, and kill Mom's heart. That's it. That's literally all it is, and you get one of the best characters in the game for it. It's pretty sick, dude. It's a good deal. Last and certainly least favorite for me, Jacob and Esau. I hate these characters so much. I'm not going to list all the stat differences. You can just look at the screen for that. The major downside to Jacob and Esau is that most of the rooms were designed with one hitbox in mind, not two. This is going to lead to some very funky situations. And speaking of funky, the controls for Jacob and Esau. To keep these guys together, you have to constantly hold control. Or, excuse me, don't have to constantly hold it. But if they're ever separated for any reason, you have to hold control and move the one back to the other. It is extremely annoying. It is extremely frustrating. I despise these characters. I hate them with every bone in my body. Unfortunately for all of us who don't like playing as these guys, they have some of the best unlocks in the game. Rock Bottom comes from defeating Boss Rush. The Stairway comes from defeating Isaac. Damocles comes from defeating the Lamb. Birthright comes from defeating Blue Baby. Magic Skin comes from defeating Mother. Mother is also how you're going to unlock these guys. Any character you can play as, go defeat Mother. You unlock Jacob and Esau, so you can also commit Jock and Y'all torture. Absolutely terrible time. Hate this character. My advice to you is just, dude, you're going to bang your head against the brick wall until you break through. That's it. There is no actual advice I can give you. The one nice thing about them, too, is that if there's a double item pedestal, like there's two items in a room, like an angel deal, you can split them apart and take both. Same with item rooms. Does not apply to double deals, I don't believe. If someone has information other than my understanding, please provide it in the comments down below. Thank you for sitting through my PowerPoint. There will possibly be more, but this is where I wanted to kind of start. Thank you guys for watching. I will have other uploads going on this month, and possibly moving to 2 uploads a week, pending. We'll see. But thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye.